Hello my friends and welcome. Let's go for the front lines review. We have some interesting message from Prigozhin. He says that the situation is getting worse for the Russian army. Today he mentioned several of the villages that Ukrainian army was able to take. He spoke about the Pyati Khatki. Yes, we have it on the military map, but there are some villages that are not yet being confirmed by the deep state map resource. For example, he spoke about the Robotine. He says that the northern part of the village is under control of Ukrainian army. It means that our forces went at least like that. He also spoke about the Urozhaina village, which is located somewhere near to Staromayorsk. It's over here. Let's check out the Russian defense in this area. As you can see, they have the trench over here, so Ukraine tries to bypass the trench from Urozhaina and then here cross the river and go to Staromayorsk. So now, according to the information which is coming from Prigozhin, it is something like that. Moreover, he says that on the northern part from Tokmak there is the group of the Ukrainian forces. For me, it is not understandable how they were able to get there, because you can see lots of the trenches, but if we believe Prigozhin, he says that Ukrainian forces somewhere in this area. I wouldn't trust that information for now, but speaking about the villages which are close to the front lines, I may say that this information could be correct, and in a couple of days we will see the new military map update, because they have at least 2 days delay just not to open the current positions of Ukrainian army to the enemy side. So about the Tokmak, it's the big question whether we have some sort of the small group of the special forces in that area or not. Prigozhin says that the Russian soldiers are in lack of the ammunition, and their command on the places, they write the letters to the general command in Moscow, but for now they do not have any kind of the replies or any kind of the reinforcements for ammunition. He says that they're in lack of the artillery shells as well as in simple grenades. Also, he added that the main plan for Ukraine is to go to this big lake on the south. It's called Molochny Liman. I think that in general the Ukrainian counterattack is more or less going according to the plan, because we were able to cut the supplies for the Russian Federation. That is why they are unable to send new ammunition, new soldiers and reinforcements to that area. Maybe they will send those in the future, but for now they have tremendous problems to do it on time. Before we continue with more news that are coming from the front lines, let me shout out the sponsor and also the partner of my channel. Yes, it is as usual the Atlas VPN, but they have astonishing deal for my followers, where you can get the Atlas VPN Premium for just $170 per month plus 6 months for free. Because of the multiple devices support from a single account, I'm sure that my laptop, my iPad and my smartphone are well protected. And just recently, then I was sitting in a local cafe using the public Wi-Fi. I got the warning from Atlas VPN that someone tries to reach my YouTube channel and Google account. That is why I changed the password and immediately disconnected from that network. That security monitoring is not available for many VPNs, and luckily Atlas VPN got it. You may hear that English is not my native language, so I constantly studied. How I study, I just basically watch the Netflix series, and some of them are not available in my country. That is why I switch on the Atlas VPN to watch my favorite series. With Atlas VPN, you simply don't have any limits or any kind of restrictions. Atlas VPN may help you to avoid the price discrimination, so by changing your virtual location, you may purchase, for example, airline tickets with a great discount. Atlas VPN is blocking unknown ads, it restricts the government access to your accounts, and also you are unreachable for hackers. Awesome! Right now Atlas VPN is running a huge discount. And now my friends, please check out my personal link in the video description just below, where you can get the Atlas VPN Premium for just $170 per month plus 6 months for free. This deal is valid just for my followers, and it is also time limited, so hurry up to join the club. We have more information coming from Prigozhin. He said that Ukrainian forces landed in Holopristan, so this is the Kherson city, and Ukrainian forces are already over here. For now it is the small group of the soldiers, but later on there will be more, he says. If we zoom out from the area, you can see that there are some lines of defense. However, because of the flooding in this area, those trenches also were flooded and Russians mostly evacuated from the place. But now the water level went down and they returned to their positions. However, most of them were thrown to Zaporizhia area to reinforce the Russian soldiers in that side. And now Ukraine will probably concentrate the forces to cross the Dnieper River and try to advance towards Crimea, because here you can see there are not many significant defense lines compared to Zaporizhia area. From the information which is coming from the Russian side, Russia started to dig down to the ground over here near to Armansk urgently, because they do afraid that the Ukrainian army will take this direction as the priority one to get to Crimea. And we may measure the distance from Kherson area, so it's 88 kilometers. Well, it could be one of the main directions of the Ukrainian counterattack, who knows, but for that we need lots of the supplies on the other part of the Dnieper River. Since the water level went down in this area, we could potentially cross the Dnieper River much easier than before. So we'll see how it goes with this direction. Hopefully till this weekend we'll know for sure. Alright, more about the Russian defense lines. Again, according to Prigozhin, Russia is in lack of the infantry. They need at least 50% more of the soldiers to protect this area successfully. But again, the Russian military command is in lack of the competence. They give to Putin very strange figures of destroyed Ukrainian vehicles. According to Putin's remarks, Ukraine lost more than 200 tanks and more than 800 armored vehicles since the beginning of the Ukrainian counterattack on the south. So he says that Ukraine is losing at least 50 tanks per day, which is obviously a complete nonsense, but Putin believes in the figures he was given by his circle, by the Russian Defense Ministry. Putin thinks that he is so competent about those numbers that he continued to say that bullshit again and again towards his propaganda media. But even the Russian military bloggers understand that it is complete nonsense. And everybody actually understands that Putin is not ruling the situation. As I say to you in one of my videos, he's completely lost control. Who is controlling this war from the Russian side? Maybe Shoigu, but based on the information we obtain and based on the Ukrainian movement in this area, because we're taking the ground, it seems like Shoigu is not ready to cope with the Ukrainian counteroffensive. The success of Ukrainian army, if it will be, well, I believe that it's gonna be, I believe in Ukrainian armed forces. Well, it is not only profitable for Ukraine, but also for Prigozhin, because he withdrew his Wagner army from Bakhmut. They are not fighting right now. They announced that they will recruit more soldiers, more volunteers. At the same time, the Russian regular army has tremendous losses, and in case of the successful Ukrainian counterattack, Prigozhin will be probably the only capable force to deal on Ukrainian front lines. But in that case, will he go to Ukraine or Moscow? Because as we understand, the main ambition of Prigozhin is to take the power in Russia. Otherwise, there would be no any conflicts between him and Ahmad, him and the regular Russian army, him and Putin. About the other areas of the front lines, there were no any updates for today. So now let's go for the news. Let me show you the update from the British intelligence. Russia started to build the new trenches on the border with Crimea, as I told you before. So they're digging to the ground. Those lines could be very robust. As you can see, even though Russian army has some ammunition deficit, the deficit in their soldiers, in infantry and weaponry, they are not running this time, but we make them run for sure. Just during the recent 10 days, Russia lost at least 6 of the K-52 attack helicopters. That is why they switched to the old-school Mi-24 helicopter type, and one of those was hit by Ukrainian manpad on the southern front lines. This helicopter also has the anti-tank air-to-ground missiles. You can spot them under the wings. However, the aiming equipment for Mi-24 is nothing compared to K-52. K-52 is way much better, but still was shot down many times by Ukrainian manpads. This is how Kakhovka water reservoir looks like today, and with some of the time I think that this soil could be used for advancement of Ukrainian forces. Yes, still there is the river and we need to cross it, but it's very narrow nowadays. President Zelensky today in his interview to BBC admitted that it's not easy for Ukrainian army to move ahead because Russia mined 200,000 square kilometers of Ukrainian soil with lots of the mines. He admitted that there is the pressure on Ukraine from our allies, but with all of the respect, Ukraine will move forward as it thinks will be the best. So now probably the best variant is to move forward, but little by little to have as less casualties as possible. The counteroffensive goes slower than we wanted. Some people think that it's some sort of the Hollywood movie and they want results right now, but it's not as it should be. They're the lives of people on this beat, so we need to secure our soldiers at first. Our intelligence chief Budanov said that he did not expect a nuclear attack from the Russian side on Ukraine by using the tactical nukes or strategic types of the nukes. However, as we discussed with you in my previous video, Russia mined the nuclear power plant of Zaporizhia, so there's the huge risk. According to the Oryx resource that analyzes the videos and photos which are coming from the front lines, and that is how they make the list of the losses. Still, according to their statistic, Russia loses more vehicles being in defense rather than Ukraine being in offense. It is outstanding because usually the offending side loses 3 times more life force and vehicles. Here we can see the losses from Ukrainian side. Unfortunately, it's been confirmed that we lost Leopard 2A6, but just one. The rest were evacuated from the front lines and they are now on maintenance. So 47 vehicles for Ukraine and 60 for Russia, including helicopter. According to Political resource, our allies are planning to open the training hub for F-16 type rating for Ukrainian soldiers, which will be located in Romania. It is very convenient because Romania is bordering Ukraine and probably there should be also the maintenance facilities to support Ukrainian F-16s. I'm 100% sure that we're gonna obtain those airplanes in the best scenario till the end of this year, in the worst scenario at the beginning of the next year. The American congressmen from both of the parties approved the resolution 488 that calls the White House to supply the ATACMS rockets for Ukrainian army. The head of the committee, Congressman Republican Michael McCall, I hope I spelled the name correctly, said that ATACMS rockets are crucial for Ukrainian counteroffensive success. Well, for now the representatives voted for that, and this document should go for Senate for the general voting, and after it will go to the White House. The European Union applied the new sanctions package, and based on that one, they will cut supplies of the Russian oil from the north branch of the Russian Druzhba pipeline that goes from Russia, Belarus, Poland and to Germany. The link on the south doesn't work for now because there were some of the explosions. So basically the European Union just cuts the Russian oil, which is great. Plus the Russian trucks, lorries are unable now to go to European Union countries. Also, we'll have the new support package of 3.5 billion euros that will go for security and defense of Ukraine. It is awesome. Latvia is planning to send all of its helicopters to Ukraine, basically everything they have. Latvia is the small country, but still they have some of the Mi-8 helicopters and probably Mi-24, who knows, so they will transfer all of that stuff to us. It's great. Based on the videos which are coming from the front lines, the Ukrainian army moves forward. Our forces attack the Russian positions further away from the front lines here, for example in Priutne village. It means that the Ukrainian army is very close to that area, and little by little we are moving forward. demolishing the Russian armored vehicles, as here on the video. My friends, now press the like to this video, and also don't forget to check my personal link in the video description just below, where you can get the Atlas VPN Premium with a huge discount that was done especially for my followers and viewers. This is definitely a best deal on the market right now. My friends, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.